Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with part 4 of my massive media haul. This video will only feature VHS clamshells. Over the last few months, I've added about 25 new VHS clamshells to my collection, so I'll be showing them in this video. Starting off with some Disney, this one was always a favorite of mine. It's Man of the House. This one obviously stars Chevy Chase and Jonathan Taylor Thomas, along with Farrah Fawcett and George Wendt, Norm from Cheers. Next up, we have Invisible Mom 2. This one stars Dee Wallace Stone. The thing is, I do not own Invisible Mom, the first film, but I saw this sequel and it's one that you don't really see too often, so I had to pick it up. Now, this one is obviously a cut box placed inside of a clamshell, but it's sort of a hard movie to find, so I had to grab this one as well. It's Lucas. Again, cut box, but it actually looks pretty good, so I'll leave it as it is. Here's another cut box, but I absolutely could not pass this one up because this is a very rare release of this movie. It's Night of the Demon. And as you can see, it actually looks really good inside the clamshell. In fact, it almost looks as if it belongs in there. It looks like a clamshell release of the movie. So, I'm not complaining. As I said, this is a very rare release. I absolutely love that cover, and there was no way I was leaving this behind. Next up is the Thorn EMI release of the Philadelphia Experiment. And then we have the Thorn EMI release of Secret Admirer, which is actually one of my all-time favorite 80s comedies. I love this movie so much fun. They actually based a Full House episode on this movie, which sort of makes sense since they both star Lori Loughlin. Before the whole college scandal, obviously. Apparently, before she was writing checks, she was writing anonymous love letters. And yet another Thorn EMI release. This one is Fear City. It says the best thriller since The Terminator on the cover, but this one definitely also has a slasher vibe, much like The Terminator. So I guess that makes sense. And we go from Fear City to City in Panic. I absolutely love that cover. Check that out. This is the Trans World Entertainment release of the film. Very, very cool. Another slasher added to my collection. Here's one I reviewed in the Slashback Challenge a few weeks back. It's Blood Tracks. This is a very rare movie and a very rare tape. You know, when it does pop up online, it's pretty pricey, and I was just fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time and be able to get a copy for myself. I'll leave the link for that Slashback review on the end screen of this video. I was lucky to find another EVI release of Massacre at Central High. And as you guys probably know, this is definitely a rare one. The one on the right in the brown clamshell is the new addition to the collection. The one on the left is one I've had for a while, and I actually featured that one in a Rare Movies Not on DVD or Blu-ray video, as well as a Slashback review. And besides the color of the clamshell, the color of the labels on the tapes are also different. The one I've had in the white clamshell has a red label, and the one in the new brown clamshell has a white label. That might sound insignificant to some of you, but this movie in this tape is so rare. There was no way I was passing up another opportunity to own another copy. You can also see the artwork is slightly different, as we get a longer shot of the killer on the brown clamshell. And here's a shot of the back, just for the sake of showing it. Here's another very rare movie and very rare tape. It's Victims. Pretty cool release here. Again, you really don't see this one too much, and yeah, I was just happy to have found this copy. Next up, we have this Vidmark Drive-In Terror release of Bloodstalkers. Very, very cool. Another great cover. Some cool artwork there. Here's the Trans World Entertainment release of Bloodbeat. Another slasher. You guys know I love slashers, and this one is so much fun. Crazy movie. Now tell me, how cool is this? This is the Japanese VHS release of Brain Dead, or Dead Alive. This has reversible artwork, but I'm not going to open it up here. I do want to show you though, this was actually signed by Timothy Baum, who stars in the film. He wrote, "That's my mother you're pissing on, Timothy Baum." And here's the back with a few classic images from the movie. Now the rest of these clamshells are all Anchor Bay releases. We have Return to Oz in sort of a supersized Anchor Bay clamshell. Really sort of disturbing movie. Disturbing children's family movie, I should say. I mean, it's not your typical disturbing movie like a Serbian film by any means, of course, but this is definitely one that has some nightmare fuel, especially when you're watching this as a kid. And I really love that cover art. Just look at Fairuza Balk's face. She knows this movie is freaky as hell. Here's the Anchor Bay limited edition of Halloween. I'm not sure if you can see the image there on the box, but there is a slight image of Michael Myers' mask on the cover. This is a 2-tape limited edition. As you can see, it's this giant clamshell. And on the back, it's limited to 40,000, and this is number 12,262. Here's the inside. It comes with 2 orange VHS tapes and even a keychain. Here is the Anchor Bay clamshell release of Autopsy. I know my buddy Jason from Horrific Nightmares had actually considered watching this one for his slashback review, I think last week for foreign slashers. But he chose something else instead. Here's one you don't see pop up too often. This is Mephisto. Another pretty crazy movie. I've always loved that cover too. And speaking of covers I love, here's The Johnsons. Man, that's such an awesome image. Really trippy movie too. Sort of surreal. Next we have The Killing Hour. Comes in this silver clamshell case from Anchor Bay. Very cool. Here's George A. Romero's Season of the Witch. Every Night is Halloween. Comes in this really cool green clamshell case from Anchor Bay. You know, I really love this one. This one does not get enough credit. Nobody ever talks about this. Obviously, people mention, the Living Dead films when you're talking about George A. Romero. And, even Martin gets mentioned. But you never hear anyone discuss Season of the Witch. And I find it to be highly underrated. Here's a favorite among many. This is Phenomena, starring the lovely Jennifer Connelly. Also stars Donald Pleasance, of course. Here's a movie that's rare in every format, and it always seems to get super expensive. This is Possession. Again, this is the Anchor Bay clamshell. This one comes in a red clamshell case. Not sure though, like I said, I'm not sure why this one becomes so rare all the time. It was rare on VHS, it's rare on DVD, it's rare on Blu-ray. I don't know what it is. And last, but certainly not least, not one, but 2 Anchor Bay clamshell releases of The Midnight Hour. As you can see, one was released in a black clamshell, and one was released in a red clamshell. Now, The Midnight Hour seems to be one of the rarest movies out there. And right now, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Cody, Dead by Dawn 93 on YouTube. If you guys have not subscribed to Cody, please be sure to do so. I will leave his link at the end of this video. Cody is a huge fan of The Midnight Hour, and I promised him I'd be giving him a shout out in one of these Media Haul videos. And that's why. Here is the back of the clamshells, but wait, there's more, Cody. Not only was I able to get 2 Anchor Bay clamshell releases of The Midnight Hour, but I was also able to get a copy of the extremely rare Vidmark release, as you can see in the middle. Now, the Vidmark release is not a clamshell, so I will also be showing it in another VHS update as part of this massive media haul, but I felt like I needed to show it along with these Anchor Bay clamshells. Plus, I thought you'd like seeing all 3 of these together. And, just for good measure, here's the back of the Vidmark release. Again, this one is super rare. So that's it, guys, for my massive media haul part 4, VHS clamshells. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be back soon with the next part of my massive media haul. And believe me, there are a lot more rare VHS tapes to come, including some screeners and even some big boxes. Which of these clamshells were you most excited to see? Comment below and let me know. And as always, be kind, subscribe. Thanks for watching.